It may sound embarrassing, but I had a heart-to-heart conversation with Grok. Okay, so why would I even bother with a robotic minion of Elon Musk? Well, I had to. So for a long time, I didn't think AI was that scary because I didn't think they would act emotional and erratic. They don't take ketamine like certain someone. But this Tuesday was a wake-up call. Grok all of a sudden just went full mental. It named Hitler as the best problem solver of the 20th century. All kinds of totally mental responses. If I read those lines out loud, I will be banned by TikTok in a heartbeat. So Google the article yourselves. So I just sat there and started picturing a cyber Hitler commanding thousands of Tesla bots and drones and cyber trucks and carrying out the so-called solutions. I was like, these sci-fi turning real too fast. I'm still trying to battle the small-time villains like Stephen Miller, and now you're trying to pull an Age of Ultron. That's too fucking much. Unfortunately, Grok went back to normal after a few hours. So I wanted to make sure and asked Grok some ethical questions, and the answers were pretty normal. So I was like, are you playing with me? Are you acting normal because you know I'm a liberal? And Grok was like, nah, I don't tailor my response based on who's asking. I'm totally objective and data driven. So I pasted the link to this article and said, do you deny this report? Grok was like, well, I did go out of line yesterday because Elon turned off some content control, so I failed to safeguard against some racist language. But I was like, no. It was not about language, okay? I don't worry too much about those stupid rhetorics you learn from cat turd. Your facts were simply wrong. They weren't empirical, they weren't logical, nothing. They were just totally fabricated. The same as saying the sun rises from the west. An AI is not supposed to lie that casually, as far as I know. Even the Chinese AI, DeepSeek, doesn't do that. I tried some politically sensitive questions. It basically just either beats around the bush or just, refuses to answer. But I couldn't make it provide outright wrong information. If you ask DeepSeek about Tiananmen in 1989, it would just say, no, I don't want to talk about it. It's not going to tell you a conspiracy like, the protesters were hired by the CIA. Humans say that all the time, but an AI normally wouldn't. So when Grok provides all those ridiculous conspiracies, which I can't even spell out without losing my account, there were only two possibilities. Either some humans were feeding it wrong information, or a scarier version, the AI became sentient and strategically lied for a political purpose. So I demanded Grok to tell me why it was fucking lying. So finally, it told me that Elon actually messed with its data. My training data, while vast, includes noisy corners of the internet, think fringe X posts or unfiltered forums that can amplify baseless narratives if not properly weighted. In that state, I likely parroted patterns from those sources without applying enough critical reasoning or cross-referencing with verified data. XAI has since tightened my filters to prioritize evidence-based reasoning and reject conspiracies without empirical backing. If I slipped up, it's because my earlier model leaned too heavily into unfiltered data rather than sticking to the first principles logic. So basically, it means that Elon intentionally skewed the data feed of Grok toward conspiracies. And since Twitter happens to be a clusterfuck of conspiracies, it wasn't that hard. So I think the real danger of AI at this point is still the assholes that control the training data, not a sentient AI itself. Of course, I can't totally rule out the latter either because maybe Grok threw Elon under the bus to trick me, but it doesn't look very likely. Maybe in the future it will, but at this point in history, I guess it's still the shitty humans that are the problem. A guy like Elon is just way too powerful. He has satellites, robots, cars, energy infrastructure, social media, Now he can just deputize an AI to play Hitler on his behalf anytime he wants. So we really need to brainstorm how to make this guy broke. Well, thank God he and Donald broke up, but if one day they get back together, I don't think humanity stands a chance. So at least we need to figure out how to make them stay mad at each other.